Okay, I'm just going to talk you through some of the retouching options we have available to us in the iPad version of Affinity Photo. So probably the big one for most people will be the inclusion of the automated frequency separation filter. Now, frequency separation is quite a renowned retouching technique involving separating the image into various frequencies into separate layers so that you can retouch them and achieve a more realistic result. Well, Photo, under the Filters Studio here, offers, if we just scroll down, a frequency separation filter. Now, if I go ahead and tap this, it will give me a preview of the high pass and the low pass frequencies. So I'm going to leave them at the default of a 2 pixel radius and 50% tolerance and tap the check to apply the filter. Okay, if I move across to the Layers Studio now, we'll see, as expected, it's separated our image into high and low frequency layers. Now, the way I prefer to work is to actually hide the high frequency layer and just work purely on low frequency to begin with. And I'll just run you through some of the retouching tools available. So, for example, for simple blemishes down here and so on, if we just move into the tools, on the tools panel here, we just tap once, then tap again to access the flyout. I can select the blemish removal tool. And if we just zoom in and have a closer look, I can toggle the brush width down here. Let's just tap one blemish to remove it. And most of the time it's a simple one tap operation. However, what you can do is tap drag in order to sample from a specific area. And what I'll do is just increase the brush width for this one and just drag to sample from an area of the skin over here, like so. Okay, so to clean up patchier areas, we also have the healing brush. Again, I'll just tap the flyout here and select the healing brush. Let's pick a suitable width, about there should do. And the way the healing brush works is we set a sample area, and to do that we just tap, hold on the specific area of skin or image rather that we want to sample. We'll see a little crosshair there to confirm it, and then we just brush over the areas we want to heal, like so. Again, I'll just repeat this procedure a couple of times to get some variation going on here, and I'll just tackle the area under the mouth as well, so I'll just tap hold to select sample areas, just brush over and just try and remove some of the repetition in that area. And down here I've just got a bit of a mark that I can get rid of. Okay, so that takes care of the chin. Now then, up by the nose we have a trickier area, and the way I'm going to deal with this is to use the patch tool. So again, on the flyout here we can select patch tool, and what I will do for this is basically, because we want to maintain the sort of the crevice here between the nostril and the cheek, I'm going to draw out a selection around here and just sort of butt the selection up to the crevice, but don't actually move into the crevice. Okay, so that's the area I want to heal or patch. And then to use this, we simply tap drag. Now we have to start in the area that we've selected, and then we can simply drag out to sample an area that's more suitable. So for example, we could try about here, release, and then to actually confirm it, we just simply tap anywhere again. Okay, so now I'll do the same procedure for this little area down here. Again, what I'll do is just start tap dragging within the selection and then move my sample area over here somewhere, release, tap off, and there we go. And again, I'll just tackle the other side where this blotchy red area is, and again simply tap drag starting in the selection until I find a suitable area, release, and tap off. Okay, let's look at modifying the high frequency layer then. So I'll tap into the Layers Studio, select the high frequency, check it to enable it again, and just so we can see what we're doing here, I'll hide the low frequency layer. Okay, so we've got various high frequency areas that we might want to retouch here, but I'll settle on the forehead up here. So I'll re-enable the low frequency layer so we can see what we're doing. And we've got some various hairs sweeping across the forehead and also a bit of a mark here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a sort of a purpley mark. And we'll look at taking care of those. So in order to kind of maintain the high frequency detail, one of the tricks I like to use is to use a clone brush, again on the flyout here, with a hardness of 100%. And this ensures there's no blurring of the cloned area when we're actually brushing over. So for example, tap hold in an area to set it as the start point and then start brushing over the area you want to heal or fix. Let's do it again here. So I'll set my source area, brush over the hair, like so. Again down here, brush over this hair. And of course we've got these two hairs sweeping across the length of the head here. So what we'll do is start from underneath and work our way across like so. Bearing in mind that we may also have to tackle these hairs on the low frequency layer as well. So we may have to come back to those. Okay, we've just got a hair here as well, so again, I'll use a smaller brush width this time. I'll just tap hold to define a source area and then brush across, like so, just to soften that hair detail and make it less prominent. Okay, so let's say then, we'll just take a look without the high frequency layer. Yeah, okay, so this purple mark we can take care of on the low frequency layer. So once again, I'll select that. And it looks like we could probably use the clone brush actually. So I'll stay on the clone brush. This time I'll reduce the hardness to 0. And I'll have to increase the brush width to compensate for that. And I'll just sample from about here. And I'll just brush over that mark. Okay, that's perhaps a little too obvious, so we can move in with the healing brush and just go over it to kind of help it blend into the rest of the forehead here. Okay, so we're nearly done. I'll just show you how I might use the Inpainting brush as well. So let's select the high frequency and let's come across here. Yeah, okay, so we could use Inpainting just to remove some of these lines around the eyes. We won't go overkill because we want to keep the natural look of the model, but we'll just see what we can do here. So I'll tap in again to the flyout, select the Inpainting brush, and because it's the high frequency layer, we want to retain as much detail as possible. I'm going to bump the hardness all the way up to 100, and that means I can then reduce the brush width. Okay, so what I might do quickly is just inpaint out these little marks here, and then let's just run the Inpainting brush over some of these lines. Okay, so what this will do is just inpaint the high frequency content. So it won't remove the lines, but what it will do is soften and blur them slightly, because now they're only really present on the low frequency layer instead. Okay, now then, just to bring the whole thing round back to where we began, I'm going to use the Blemish removal tool again, just to tidy up some of these little blemishes here. So once again, I can select the low frequency layer, move in here, select the Blemish removal tool. Let's make sure our width is appropriate. Let's move down here, just increase the width again a bit, and let's just remove some of these blemishes like so. So you see I'm simply tap dragging to use a custom source area. But as we can see, it's just a nice quick way of cleaning up the skin. Okay, and that's it for this video. I hope you found that useful. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out the other video tutorials.